Aaliya had been on her feet for nearly 16 hours, balancing trays, apologizing for delays, and forcing a smile even when her legs trembled. Working at a small roadside cafe wasn't easy, but it paid the bills. Barely. She lived alone, saved every rupee, and dreamed of one day opening her own bakery, a quiet place filled with fresh bread, soft music, and peace. But tonight, peace felt very far away. It was past midnight when she finally clocked out. The streets were dim, the shops closed, and the cold wind stung her face. She wrapped her thin shawl tighter and began her long walk home. The buses had stopped running hours ago, and she simply didn't have the money for a ride share. Her footsteps echoed on the empty road. And then, she heard another pair. She slowed. They slowed. She crossed the street. The steps crossed too. Aaliya's heart clenched. She didn't dare look back. Her cafe uniform, her tired body, her empty wallet, none of these could protect her now. She quickened her pace, trying to appear calm, but her hands trembled. She turned a corner, and that's when she finally stole a look. A man. Hooded. Tall. Walking with his head slightly lowered but unmistakably following her. Her blood turned to ice. Aaliya considered knocking on someone's door, but it was too late, and she feared no one would answer. She mentally rehearsed what she would do if he tried anything, but her mind was foggy with exhaustion. She whispered a silent prayer. Then she heard him call softly, "Miss, wait." She froze. Her breath hitched. "Please don't be afraid," he said, raising his hands slowly. I think you dropped something." She blinked. What? He held out a small object. It glimmered under the streetlight. Her locker key, the one she had searched for earlier but assumed was lost. Still, Aaliya didn't move. Fear didn't leave that easily. The man sensed her hesitation. He placed the key on a nearby bench and stepped back. "My sister works late shifts too," he said quietly. "I walked behind you so you wouldn't feel unsafe on this empty road. But I guess I made it worse. I'm sorry." Aaliya stared at him, unsure what to believe. He continued, "You don't know me, but I know what it looks like when someone's scared. I didn't want anything from you. I just didn't want something bad to happen to you." Her breathing softened, but caution still held her steps in place. "What's your name?" she finally managed. "Samir," he replied. "I live near the old library. I saw you working today. You looked really tired, and I didn't want you walking alone." Aaliya swallowed hard. The fear that had wrapped her like ice slowly began to melt. She took a cautious step toward the bench, picked up her key, and looked at him properly for the first time. He wasn't threatening. Just a simple man in worn clothes, with tired eyes and a gentle voice. Still, she kept her distance. "Why would you help a stranger?" Samir offered a small, sincere smile. "Because someone helped my sister once. And I promised I'd pay it forward." The street was silent except for the wind. For the first time all night, Aaliya felt her heart slow down. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll go the other way," he said, pointing toward a different street. "Have a safe walk home." She nodded, and he began to walk away. Aaliya stood there, watching. Something in her, a feeling she couldn't name, stopped her from letting the moment end there. "Samir," she called out. He turned. If you don't mind, could you walk with me? Just until the main road. It's still a little scary." He looked surprised, then relieved. "Of course." They walked side by side, maintaining respectful distance. Samir didn't pry, didn't ask questions, didn't make her uncomfortable. He just walked with her, making sure she reached a safer, brighter street. As they approached the main road, Aaliya's fear had fully dissolved. "Thank you," she said again. Truly. Anytime, he replied. People like you, working so hard, you deserve to feel safe. She smiled, tired, but genuine. Maybe one day you can visit the bakery I'll open. Samir chuckled. I'd be honored. They parted ways, but something warm lingered in Aaliya's chest. Not fear. Not doubt. Hope. Months later, Aaliya recognized that moment as a turning point. She began saving with new determination. She left the unsafe walk-home route and found a safer path. She talked to her manager and eventually got better shifts. Step by step, her life changed. And 1 year later, on the opening day of her tiny bakery, painted soft yellow with the smell of fresh bread drifting outside, she saw a familiar face at the door. Samir. Holding flowers. Smiling proudly. You opened it, he said. I knew you would. Aaliya felt tears sting her eyes. You believed in me before I did. And in that small bakery, two strangers who met on a dark, frightening night stood together, both changed by a simple act of kindness.